I think the best men are those who've been broken by life and have pulled through. The ones who've come out the other end. And the reason is simple. They've been forced by circumstance to drop the illusion of their own strength and power. They've hit a point where they knew they couldn't keep the act going. They hit rock bottom and had to reach out and say, I can't cope. I am in an infantile position here. Help me. And men become rather glorious when that happens to them. But when you're in that place, here is the critical choice. Do not ever sell out for the temporary reward of what seems like an opportunity today. You have to believe in the bigger picture. You have to believe that all these things are just moments, building the wave for the big moment to come. You must plant the seeds of hard work, integrity, and honor today. And then every single day, you water them. You nourish them. You have to believe in them. Because if you wake up every day and you tell yourself that you are powerful, I guarantee you will start feeling powerful. But every day you wake up and you start your day by saying that you hate yourself, every day you say, I am the way I am because of what I went through, and you self-identify with your trauma, then that is what you will be. Because it is easier to stay hurt than it is to heal. It is easier to keep the knife inside the wound than to pull it out and bleed out every single ounce of pain that you ever went through. But you have to pull the knife out. You went through something bad, and you started to believe the story it told you about yourself. But you have to challenge that. You won't die from facing it. And if you do die, you won't care because you'll be dead. Best case, you win. Worst case, it won't matter. If you have that little voice in your head saying, hey, you got talent, you could do this, then you have to follow that voice. Because most of what we care about, happiness, well-being, not suffering, is a skill. Noticing your emotional life and regulating negative emotion is a skill. It's like meditation. It's about learning to pay close attention to the nature of your experience without reacting. You're not grasping at what's pleasant or pushing what's unpleasant away. Take anxiety. The default state is to go to war with it. But what if you just noticed it? You'd see that anxiety is incredibly close to excitement in its actual physiology. The difference is just the framing. It's the story you're telling yourself. The tingles you feel before a roller coaster are part of the fun. The same feeling before a speech is intolerable. It's all in the narrative, and that narrative is tied to our sense of self. For most of us, we feel like passengers in our bodies, trapped in our heads, overwhelmed by our to-do lists and our worries. But the moments we truly feel joy, like when you're lost in a beautiful sunset, are the moments we lose that burdensome sense of self. We're just connected. So how do we build a life where that connection is the rule, not the exception? My notion of human well-being is open-ended. We don't know the ultimate horizon for our flourishing. But we know we want a world where we can effortlessly cooperate with creative and happy strangers. With 7 billion of us, we need ways of thinking that take the friction out of our interactions. We are, on some basic level, all on the same team. And if we can't figure out how to build a civilization where everyone thrives to some degree, we'll be stuck with the world we have now. A default state of partisanship and tribalism that is unsustainable. We have to get our act together, psychologically and socially. And that starts with our relationship with the truth. We have to want our beliefs to map onto reality. If your map is wrong, you're just going to keep bumping into hard objects and suffering. Now maybe it's useful to have a slightly delusional, self-serving bias, to think you're a bit better than you are for the confidence. That's one principle. But fundamentally, we must be open to new evidence and better arguments, perpetually. If you close yourself off and say, I'm done thinking about reality, then when new data comes in, you can't error correct. You fall out of alignment with the world. The only mechanism we have for this is human conversation. We have to be open to other people pointing out our errors, and we have to be open to the possibility in our own minds that we might be wrong. because we are very likely wrong a lot of the time. Hence the virtue of education, of surrounding yourself with smart people, of reading good books, of exposing yourself to the lessons learned over thousands of years of human history. It all comes back to the daily practice. It comes back to pulling out the knife. It comes back to watering the seeds you plant. It's a skill, and it's the only way to move from being broken to being unbreakable. The beauty of those moments where you lose yourself, like watching a perfect sunset, is that you're not even aware it's happening. You're not thinking, now I'm free from myself. You're just present. And the problem for most of us is that we wait. We wait for the world to give us a good enough reason to be that present, to be so fully immersed that we finally stop the war inside our own heads. Because let's be honest, we are always at war. We're always fighting something. We're noticing a discomfort in our body, reacting to a perceived slight, or worrying about a future task. We're constantly trying to change our experience to find a moment of peace. The moments we truly feel good are when that war stops, when we come to rest. It's not about half a second ago or half a second from now. It's just now, and that requires dropping the heavy weight of self. This is the heart of flourishing, spending your time pleasantly, happily, and creatively. But we have two selves that judge this. There's the experiencing self, the one that lives moment to moment, feeling the immediate pains and pleasures. That is our real self. Then there's the remembering self. This is the self you talk to when you ask, "Was that a good year? Was my life meaningful?" The answers available to that remembering self determine whether we feel true life satisfaction. And you can shift that perspective right now. It's called negative imagination. If you're stuck in traffic, frustrated, you can think of all the terrible things that haven't happened to you. You could be the person today finding out they have 2 months to live. And in that moment, you'd pray to be returned to this exact traffic jam. That's just a thought, but it can let the light in. It reframes everything without changing a single material circumstance. Because here is the ultimate truth. It is not what happens that determines your future. What happens, happens to us all. The key is what you do about it. Life isn't fair to anybody. You just have to fight through. You have to understand that opposition is not there to break you. It's there to position you for something greater. The hard times, the struggles, the trials, this is what builds you. This is how you grow. But so many of us take it as a sign of unfairness. We abandon our own gift. We move away from our greatness and let the things that were meant to build us break us. So in your life's blueprint, you must have a deep belief in your own dignity, your own worth, and your own somebodyness. Do not allow anybody to make you feel that you are nobody. How do you do that? You learn to stand in front of the mirror and give yourself a high five. You demonstrate that you like yourself. Because if you like yourself, you don't go out into the world desperately looking for other people to like you. It's wonderful if they do, but you don't need it. If you accept yourself with compassion, then if someone disrespects you, it stings, but it doesn't change the fundamental fact that you respect yourself. Most people don't need more light. They need to accept the light they already have. And when you accept your light, you stop wasting your time, effort, and energy on things that are not worthy of you. To go uphill, you must be intentional. Nobody ever went uphill by accident. You have to be deliberate. But you must also be prepared. All good will be attacked. Every garden will be invaded. Not to think so is naive. Every garden must be tended all summer long. And in that work, you will face a choice every single day. Do you want the emotion or do you want the progress? You can't have both. You're at the gym, on rep 8, and your brain screams stop, it hurts. If you stop, you get the emotion of relief. You don't get the progress. Where the pain stops is where the work starts. So you keep shining. Even when they try to stop you, slow you down, or come against you, you keep shining. You have to understand this. Everybody isn't meant to handle the light. When someone has darkness in their soul, they can't handle the light of your greatness. Everybody can't handle the light of you being who you are. We've been told two lies. The first lie is that you're nothing. The second lie is that you can be anything. The truth is, you can't be anything you want, but you can be everything you are. Your perspective is everything. It drives your performance. You can have all the resources in the world, but with the wrong perspective, you'll be annihilated by someone with nothing but the right one. It won't be easy. It will be hard, because life is hard. These challenges will do their best to take you down. Do not let them. Stand up. Dig in. Line up those problems and confront them. Face them. Fight them. Do not let them bring you down. In fact, let those challenges raise you up. Let them elevate you. We're all put here for a reason, and that reason is not to stand around complaining about what's fair. The world will never be fair. Someone will always have an easier path. But listen, regardless of how difficult you think your path is, there are people who have walked that same path and won huge with it. Let the adversity you face today turn you into a better person tomorrow. Transformation and change are always possible, but let's be honest, they are not always probable. The probability is low, but the possibility is high. Everyone has the opportunity to change, but the path is long and hard. It often requires a massive amount of tragedy, stress, and turmoil just to get someone to finally stand at the starting line. And people don't change for other people. They change for themselves when they realize deep in their bones that if they don't change, the cost will be their own future. This comes down to one thing. How you do anything is how you do everything. This isn't about technique. This is about mentality. It's about spirit. It's about your disposition. It's about how you show up and how you work for what you say you want, without letting situations, circumstances, or other people dictate what you bring into the room every single day. We have very few things we can control in this life, but we control the meaning we give to things. Meanings are everything. How you define your life will tell you everything about how far you will go. When you are serious about change, you stop saying easier said than done. You start saying, no matter how hard it is, no matter how impossible it seems, no matter who walks out of my life, I am going to get it done. We don't realize that half the time, the thing weighing us down is what we're desperately holding on to. So what part of your mindset will you leave behind today? What story will you finally let go of because it doesn't serve you anymore? You have to sit on your bed one day and ask yourself, what remarkably stupid things am I doing on a regular basis to absolutely screw up my life? And you have to want to know the answer. If you truly decide you want to know, you'll figure it out so fast it'll make your hair curl. You are perfectly capable of immense feats of imagination and dreams. So what would happen if you consulted yourself about the best possible outcome for your life? You might not get an answer, because maybe you're still buying the excuses. Maybe you're believing that because of your race, your parents, your past, or your pain, you can't achieve what you want. You need to understand this one thing. Your hardships will either be the reason you don't make it, or they will be the story you tell when you do make it. And you get to make that choice. The other thing is to take full responsibility. We can either accept conditions as they exist, or we can take the responsibility to change them. You have to chase that dream before you die. As Bishop Jake said, I would hate to die and never do the thing I was born to do. But it isn't me that changes you. It's you. You set the small goals. You achieve them. Then you set a few more. Start small. Just change tomorrow morning. Get that one morning squared away, and then move to the next day. Move your life to a better place, one little step, one little victory at a time. One of the most powerful motivation strategies is to project yourself forward. What are the consequences of stopping? What does failure actually cost? Right now. You're trying to optimize to stop the temporary discomfort. But the price you'll pay for that is shame, guilt, and regret that will last for years. The future is much longer than the present. You get to look back on your life. Will it be with pride or with shame? You need profound goals because life is a profound problem for everyone. You can try to hide from it, but you will still have to face the ultimate questions. There will be times you're in an emergency room, prone to panic and collapse. That is not the right way to be. The right way is to be strong and reliable. And you cannot do that without being wise. At some point, we have to wake up and say, no more. This is it. I'm going to make a change. We can't just be online, watching things and saying amen. Hearing things is great, but doing things, taking action is what will change your life. You need to start making decisions. You don't have to change everything at once. Just pick one thing. Say, this is the one thing I'm going to stop being loyal to, and this is the one thing I'm going to start being loyal to. You've had enough disappointment. Your brain is trying to protect you from more of it by convincing you your problems are permanent. But no problem is permanent. Only your soul is permanent. Nothing is forever. Everything changes, everything ends, and something new begins. Those are the seasons of life. You have to lose your fear of failure. Failure is part of the process. People who never fail never try. You have to get it wrong to get it right. You learn nothing from winning. You only learn from your failures. You were born to do something great. You are enough. You are special. You are favored. But every day, some of us are killing ourselves with the shame we carry. We put a gun to our head every day that tells us we're not enough. Not strong enough, smart enough, favored enough. And we carry that gun every day, letting it steal our confidence and our joy. There's a better way. You can decide today to put that down. Without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. Keep working, keep striving, never give up. Fall down 7 times, get up 8. Remember, ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. And in life, you don't have just one shot. The only difference between you and the people who have created the life you want is that they just kept shooting, over and over and over again. In life, you have an infinite number of shots. There are so many ladders in life, so many hierarchies you can attempt to climb. And if you fail on one, go and try another. But the point is, you should still be aiming for the top. Because what is the alternative? What are you going to do if you don't? Flap about uselessly and whine about your life. That isn't helpful. It just makes you miserable. It makes you unreliable to anyone. You won't be able to help out in a crisis. I don't care what you choose to do, but for God's sake, go out there and make something of yourself. Be an honest person. Work hard. Get to the top of whatever it is you've chosen. Stand up for yourself like a respectable human being. Be a bit of a light in the world instead of a blight. And on that journey, understand the people you meet. Some are there for only a season. We sometimes get hooked on people we think are for a lifetime, but they were only meant to be boosters. If you watch a rocket launch, the boosters fall off when it reaches a certain altitude. Some people are not equipped to handle the altitudes you're going to. Don't be afraid or angry when they fall away. They're not bad people. They just couldn't go where you are going. The man who loves walking will walk further than the man who loves the destination. When you fall in love with the journey, the goals just happen. You hit milestones as a side effect, because it doesn't matter at that point. I don't care if I can lift a certain weight or run a certain speed. That's cool, but I love the journey more. And what does the journey consist of? Sucking at something, failing, getting better, learning, starting over, doing it again. When you fall in love with that process, everything else takes care of itself. It's about being the person who can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. Who can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too? Who can wait and not be tired by waiting? Who can be lied about but don't deal in lies, or be hated but don't give way to hating? It's about meeting with both triumph and disaster, and treating those two imposters just the same. This path requires responsibility, but that is not your signal to give up. It is your signal to fight harder, to dig in, to go on the warpath, to assess your problems and decide which one you will attack first. My question to you is this: how long? How long are you going to stay in this pain, expecting change to just happen? You've been here for the last year, the last 5 years, the last decade, staying in the same mess, accepting the same mess, and wondering why you're stressed, unhappy, and unfulfilled. Freeing yourself from this won't be easy. It will be hard. Life is hard. That is what life is. These challenges are designed to take you down. Do not let them. You have to understand that every portion of your life is designed with a purpose. You don't get dreams without tests. Everything you're going through is preparing you for what you asked for. You have to have hardships, setbacks, and missteps. The only way to learn how to get up is to fall. The only way to learn how to win is to lose. You would not appreciate the sunshine if it never rained. So stand up, dig in, line up those problems and confront them. Face them. Fight them. Do not let them bring you down. Let these challenges raise you up. Let them elevate you. You don't have to stay where you are just tolerated and not celebrated. You don't have to stay where you are unhappy. You can free yourself. But when? When are you going to realize that if you don't, you will be standing in this pain forever? I'm not trying to put fear in your heart, but I am putting reality on your mind. Nothing will change until you change it. If it serves no purpose in your life, you have to free it from your life. I know it's easier said than done. But you know what's a lot harder? Staying in pain for the rest of your life. Staying in chaos. Staying in misery. That is so much harder. If you can risk everything you have, lose it all, and then start again at your beginnings without ever breathing a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to hold on long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on, then yours is the earth and everything that's in it. The power to change your life is found in the commitment you make right now. Commitment is what prepares you to meet obstacles, because when disaster strikes, your first thought becomes, how do I solve this? Instead of, how do I get out of this? There will be setbacks. There will be reversals. But if you've made the commitment, you continue on. You prepare to win. You expect to win. We all have limitations. Does that mean I quit? Of course not. It means I'm going to try to be the best that I can be. The strongest, the fastest, the smartest. My glory isn't in the trophy. It happens in the darkness of the early morning, in solitude when no one is watching. So make a declaration to yourself tonight. Declare all-out war on your own mediocrity. Decide that you are going to get out of this wreck. One small goal at a time. One little victory at a time. Start with tomorrow morning. Just change tomorrow. Get that squared away. And then do it again the next day. It isn't me that changes you. It's you. So begin.